got defeat in the FA Trophy. What did you make of that one? Because we had plenty of chances, but ultimately they took theirs and we didn't take ours.
Yeah, we did have chances, but we didn't play well, did we? It's I think you have to give them credit. I'm disappointed with us. I think I don't like saying it, but I don't know if we approached the game the same way as we will Saturday as a group and the way we did at Boston away. It's one of them. We've had people knocking on the door. This was an important game for me, important game for the club. I think it's a missed opportunity, to be honest. We didn't play particularly well. We did create chances and we had some good chances. However, I couldn't stand there even if we'd have come back and won at the end there. I couldn't stand there and say we deserved it. I thought we got boxed in. I thought we passed in straight lines. I thought we didn't work hard enough when we had the ball to help the man on the ball and create angles. I thought we lacked a little bit of sharpness. We didn't pick up enough second balls, and they're all the things we've been brilliant at in the last little while. But even as good as we've been in terms of being on a good run and the results and individual players playing really well, we can't afford that to plateau, because once that does level out a little bit, essentially you start dipping and falling into sort of older habits a little bit, really. I think that we huffed and puffed at best, didn't we? I'm not necessarily going to criticise the players for a lack of effort, but maybe one or two thought this was going to be a comfortable game, and I didn't. I knew it was going to be tough. We had a bit go against us as well, but I'm not making any excuses. That wasn't good enough tonight, and we'll have to be a lot better than that Saturday.
Yeah, you mentioned that obviously you're not making excuses. Obviously our first goal was conceded whilst Temi was not on the pitch. One, do we have an update on him? And two, are you disappointed with the defending during that phase?
Yeah, we should have probably been smart. I should have seen that out. Teams play with 10 minutes for ages in games. We played virtually the whole second half away at Wealdstone with 10 men. Defended brilliantly for the whole game. So, it's obviously when you lose Temi, it's someone that comes out of your box. But no, we should be able to cope with that with the level we play at and the way we train. He just jarred his knee. He's fine, but there's a bit of a risk there. We tried to get him back on, but a bit of a risk there. So we didn't want to risk him, really. So it was just one of those where we had to make the change. In hindsight, you do it a little bit quicker, but as a group, we should be able to handle 3 or 4 minutes down to 10 men.
Yeah, I heard you during the second half maybe express some discontentment about there was a moment where we had a goal kick near the end and no one seemed to look like they wanted the ball. Was that particularly disappointing for you?
Well, it is compared to where we got to, because I think we got to a point where we've shown a real bravery to play, not just at home but away at tough places like Boston the other day. So look, I think when you're having a day where it's not quite happening for us, that's when you need to see people the most. And I thought that we maybe lacked a little bit of belief in that last little period of the game, which is obviously a disappointment. We've just spoken in there. We're nowhere near where I want us to be yet, but we've shown we train well, and the lads are a good group, and they've shown that we can get results at really difficult places, and we're definitely starting to build through the pitch more. But tonight we had a day where it looked a little bit messy. I thought we looked a bit stretched. I thought there wasn't really a connection with our 3 midfield boys tonight. Front two were too far away from each other, and again, it's all those little bits have to come together for us to be at our best. And we know, and we should know, you can only tell them, they'll know now, that you can't take anyone lightly. The Conference North, Conference South, they're tough divisions, good players, many of which could play at this level. And again, look, it's a missed opportunity, so it's really disappointing.
Yeah, missed opportunity, like you say, but maybe one that the lads will be feeling. How do we bounce back for what will be a big game at Aldershot here?
Yeah, I've got no issue with what's coming next. They're, like I said, they've done this plenty of times. There's going to be bumps in the road along the way. We've had a real dip in form when we had a really tough run, and their character really pleased me. So I've got no issue with that. It's all about the next game for us now. But obviously, the overriding emotion of that one is that I don't think many players did well enough, if I'm honest, individually and as a group. So if you get too many people having 5s and 6s instead of 7s and 8s and 9s, then you're going to make it difficult for yourself, and we did that tonight. But we haven't done that too often lately, so we'll be back in on Thursday, working hard towards what will be, a different type of game against Aldershot on Saturday.
Cheers, Scott.
Cheers.